Reviews.
Dust Productions.
Whatever.
it's Morphin time.
Or a Morphin Review.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to R&B Reviews. I'm your usual host, Rob, and today I've got two guests with me to help review the upcoming adaptation of Power Rangers. This is
Dan,
my friend, and
Justin
from
Dust Productions.
Dust Productions, his YouTube page. So, Justin, I just want to say we haven't seen the movie yet. We're gonna go in a few minutes, and so I figured before we go see the movie and then come back and do our review, we talk a bit about the Power Rangers, because I know you're sort of an expert on it, and I also want to talk a little bit about expectations and stuff. So, let's start with you. Tell how long you've watched the original Power Rangers, right?
Oh yeah, I remember when the original pilot aired, and I watched it, and of course I was into it, and I watched the series all the way up through Power Rangers Zeo, and then I started watching like bits and pieces, like if an old Ranger showed up in a newer series, then I would watch that episode, sort of thing. And of course I seen the original movie in theaters, which was cool.
With what was his name? Ivan Ooze or
Ivan
something?
Ooze, yeah. Which was cool. It didn't fit in with the TV series storyline.
Well, it was a big budgety looking thing as well.
Right. And they did a lot of CGI stuff, and that's one of the things I'm worried about in this new movie, because the new Zords are CGI'd once again, but from what I can see from the pictures, that the CGI looks a lot better than they were in the 90s when they CGI'd the Ninja Zords. So.
Dan, and Dan,
I only know that I only watched the first series, and after that, I kind of like bits and pieces of other series put together. But other than that, it's just that after the first series, it kind of just went downhill after that.
Okay, yeah, because I think I watched it religiously the first year, and then maybe the second and third year, but I got turned off by it because it's every year they change the cast, or or something like that. Yeah. Like every year or two they change the cast, they change the Rangers, the villains and stuff, and I'm like, and then you have to kind of commit to, like, it's like committing to a new series again and again. I'm like, I can't do that, and plus I kind of I overgrew the show as I got older.
Right.
So Justin, you kind of touched up a bit about what you heard. Now, what are your expectations about the movie based on what you've seen so far?
Okay, so the original TV show was very cheesy. We can all, even when we were kids, when I was a kid, I knew it was cheesy, but I thought it was cool, the fight scenes and the production, like like the way they did stuff compared to how they do stuff now. And back then it was cheesy, and it was like it was a kids show. And with this with the new movie, I mean, it's still a kids show, but there's some like adult humor in it, and it looks like when you saw the original trailer, it looked kind of a little darker, and so I'm expecting to see something that, and a lot of people have said this, that adults will like it and kids will like it. Even if you weren't a Power Rangers fan, even if somehow you didn't know what a Power Ranger was, you could go and watch this movie and think it was a good movie. So, I mean, that's kind of what I'm expecting to see.
All right, Dan?
I'm expecting to see that more of the new movies supposed to be kind of like the original Power Rangers instead of the new characters. About the same. I don't know if it's going to be different or what, but I would say
it's like reimagining.
Yeah, it's reimagining.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I wasn't, I know some people were angry about this movie, or that some people were thrilled that they're, that they were making a reimagining or reboot of it. I mean, I didn't care either way, because I know a lot of things get reworked in one way or for another for movies, whether it's a TV show or a reworking of another movie. So I kind of, wasn't really one side or the other, because it's kind of common now. But I'm trying not to get my hopes too up. I mean, I can definitely tell that it's a bigger budget, it's a glossier looking movie, it's definitely dark looking compared to the old shows. But I want to see, I like that they didn't go that route. At least from what I could tell, I'd like to see them try doing something different with it. So I can't wait.
You also got to keep in mind that it's an origins movie too.
Right.
So we're not going to see like a whole lot of the morphed scenes, with them in the suits. We probably won't see a whole lot of footage of them in the Zords. I mean, we will see all of that, but I mean, it's going to be like...
So it's like a tent-pole movie, as they call it.
Yeah.
So see if this takes off.
And it's setting up for the next one, which hopefully will happen.
Right.
And it doesn't look like the movie's really the movie's going to make fun of itself a little bit. Like...
With references.
Like the scene where they're in the water and one of the actors is like, "I'm the Blue Ranger," and it's the black guy, and then this other guy's like, I'm black," and the other dude's like, "No, you're not." So kind of making fun of like the racial slurs that a lot of people say that the original show did. The Black Ranger's the black guy and the Blue Ranger's the white guy, whatever. The little stuff like that.
Right. Okay, well, we're going to be heading over to the theater soon, and we'll be back to give you our thoughts as well as our rating.
Yep. So, we're getting ready to have a morphin' time.
Yeah! Alright, well, we just got back from seeing the Power Rangers movie, and we're going to go ahead and give you our opinion or review about the film. So, Justin, since you seem to be the one that was the most excited about the movie, what's your review?
Just what I thought. It was going to be an origins movie, so you don't see a whole lot of the morphed, in suit scenes, of them fighting. All of that stuff is towards the end of the movie, I was fine with that. And just as I thought the movie was going to be darker than the TV show, so they were able to go outside the, I guess, Power Ranger comfort zone, and they were able to say certain things and do certain things. And I was just talking about, like, people, like, civilians actually died, like, in the movie, which in the TV show, nobody died, So, I mean, that was different. I like that. I like the comedy in it, the banter between the Rangers and them bonding, like, you kind of see them bond throughout the movie. I thought that was really cool.
I kind of like how they actually found their coins.
Yeah, the power coins.
The power coins. In the original series, it's like they had to go to the ship to actually get the power.
Yeah.
In this one, they actually found it in the crystals.
Yeah, they found it they were just doing... I didn't... That was one thing. I didn't quite understand, like, Billy, like, at first, like, okay... Why does he want to go here? Why does he want to go to this certain spot? Like, I don't understand. And then he's talking to his dad, who's obviously, Billy's dad is not alive. And I'm guessing that he was an archaeologist. That's what they call it.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why he had all those explosives and mining tools and stuff. So little things like that, like the very beginning, you see two kids bringing a cow in a school, and you're trying to figure out, okay, what's going on, through the conversation, it was the Red Ranger, Jason, and you see him getting into trouble. So
yeah. Now, this is where I think things could get interesting. Now, did you guys like this movie? Did you think it was okay, or did you hate it?
You go ahead first.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I liked it in a new series kind of way, not the original series, but how they actually did the background and how they all came together in the forest, not in the detention center, but they actually saw each other in the detention center. But it all came together, and I liked it.
All right, Justin?
I thought it was very good. Obviously, There's a big difference, even with the original movie. There's a difference between like the original movie and the TV show, because you have like different atmospheres, I guess,
Yeah.
you know, and so you really can't compare this reboot movie with the original series, other than like the storyline. And I think they honor the original storyline enough so that the people that are like, oh, well, this and this and this better not change. I mean, there were a few things that changed, but it wasn't too much. And they were able to, while honoring the original storyline enough, they were able to kind of still create a little bit of their own, you know, something new. If it's a reboot, you got to have something new, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And so I think they brought that to the table, and I think they did a good job with it. And I mean, it's just the whole movie. They were able to step outside their comfort level with filming the movie, and I think the actors and actresses did a good job.
Okay. All right, I agree with some of what you're saying, but I thought the movie was just okay. Something I do agree with you on, I think what got me through the movie were the actors. Now, you mentioned the humor. You know, I did laugh a couple of times at Billy's character. He did a few things, but most of the time I thought the humor kind of fell flat for me. I like that they did do some interesting things. I mean, it did look like it was going to go in a dark direction, but they kept some of the show's cheesiness. You know, I really like that. But to me, I mean, it's not a boring movie. You know, it held my attention. I think the acting, for the most part, was very good, especially the actor that played Jason and Billy and Kimberly especially. And the other two were okay, but it took a while to really get to know them, because I also like that they're not all, we don't meet them at the same place. You know, they're kind of spread out a little bit. I like that.
And they're not all best friends starting out.
Yeah, definitely. And I do like that we do get to see them bond, because sometimes in like superhero movies or something where you get a team together, sometimes you get like a 1-minute montage and then suddenly they're out on their mission. Not here. They really work hard to work together and perfect their skills and stuff like that. And I really like the bonding. But I thought for me the humor kind of fell flat. Like, for example, I didn't like Alpha here. He kind of reminded me a lot of the Rogue One robot from that movie, but it just didn't have the same sense of humor.
I didn't like Alpha too much either. I like the original Alpha better, obviously. I thought Zordon, I kind of liked how they changed his character a little to where, like, he's not all pure and good and true. Like, he has his own agenda too, you know, and they kind of figure that out. And but then he kind of just makes the right decision at the last minute, you know. So I thought that was kind of cool.
And plus, Zordon wasn't in between dimensions.
Well, sort of. He's kind of stuck in the morphing grid.
Yeah.
Well, in the first season, Alpha actually said that Zordon was supposed to come get out of the dimension.
Well, yeah.
Then from death itself.
Right, because he was... Spoiler alert, Zordon was the original Red Ranger. And so he used his coin along with all the other Rangers from his time. And all the other Rangers were dead. And so he used his coin to trap Rita. And basically, it was like a stalemate then, you know. And then, of course, you know, the new Rangers, they run across the coins. But I kind of like that, because like in the original show, Zordon was never a ranger, and you don't really learn too much about his past.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Now, what did you guys think about the fight scenes in this movie? Like, for me, I kind of found them disappointing. They weren't really exciting, and I didn't like the putties here because, you know, the putties, they're made of putty. Here, they're kind of like rock creatures, and you mentioned earlier about the concern about CGI, and for me, that kind of took the excitement out of it. I didn't think the fight scenes were very good.
Yeah, you know, if they wouldn't have called them putties, I probably would have been okay with it. Like if they would have had something that was a little more agile to call a putty, you know, to make the fights more interesting. I mean, their putties are just ginormous, like you said, rock beans, and plus, like when they fought them, they were pretty easy to be taken out too. You know, putties are supposed to be a little bit harder to take out, and so I mean, there's little stuff like the fight scenes. I mean, since it's an Origins movie, I knew we weren't going to see a whole lot of fighting. I knew that going in. I knew we would see them training and failing, which I was fine with that. So I mean, when you look at it from that perspective, Well, yeah, okay, you don't get a whole lot of fight scenes. Of course, they're not going to be the best fighters at first, you know. So I kind of expected that, but I mean, I understand your point of view.
I was pretty disappointed. Like you said, it's supposed to be putty creatures, not looking like rock golems for some reason.
And that's another thing too. Goldar, like they took his name a little too serious. Like he's just this big, huge gold creature, and Goldar was supposed to be a monkey in a gold suit. Like that's, or whatever. I think that's what he is. I don't know.
In the original series, yes.
Like a monkey with wings.
Yep.
You know, kind of, well, whatever.
Monkey in a gold suit with wings.
Yeah, and like the Rangers face off with him all the time. But who knows? Maybe we'll see Goldar in the sequel.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I know on the way back you guys were talking about that what you'd like to see in this sequel. I mean, I don't think we should give them too away because there's some stuff in there, but we'll see how it does. I mean, I'm not holding my breath for a sequel, but if this movie does make a lot of money, there will be a sequel, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I know there's going to be a sequel. I just know it. It's going to happen. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to see a Green Ranger in the next one. I'm about 99.9% sure that we're going to see a Green Ranger.
They clone a Green Ranger.
Yeah. So how would you rate this movie? Now, the rating system I've used, would you recommend this to see in theaters or watch at home, like after it's done with its run, or skip it altogether?
Oh, see it in theaters, definitely.
If you want to go see it in theaters, you can, but originally I would like to watch it at home because the theaters, you don't have deleted scenes in there that they actually get.
Yeah, there were some cut scenes too, like from the trailer, so.
Yes.
Yeah, I would probably say see it at home as well. I mean, it's like I said, it's not a boring movie. I mean, it wasn't slow. It moved at a very good pace. You know, there were some familiar elements that kept me, you know, involved, and some of the acting, you know, kept me involved in the story. But I thought it was an all right movie. I ended up leaving the movie theater not feeling, oh wow, I'm psyched about a sequel or anything like that. I just thought, it's all right. It was entertaining, but I'd say for me, catch it at home.
I'm just a big Power Ranger fan, so of course I'm like, yeah, I want to see a sequel. I want to see what else they do. You know, I want to see like their like friendship. I want to see like how it progresses now.
Yeah,
you know?
and I will say this: even if you're familiar with the Power Rangers or you're new, I don't think you're going to get lost if you've never seen a previous Power Ranger show or movie. I think it does a good job at introducing you, and I think there's going to be stuff there that longtime fans will be able to get into. All right, well, thank you guys very much for doing the video, Justin.
Yeah.
Dust Productions, and Dan. Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Thank you both for coming on. We should do another review like this again and talk it over, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. So thank you both for coming. So now we're going to open the floor to you. If you've seen the Power Rangers movie, what did you think? Go ahead and post your comments below. And if you'd like to check out some other reviews on my channel, feel free to visit the main page. Or if you'd like to check out Justin's other stuff on his YouTube page, I'll put a link either on the screen or in the description box. So thank you very much for watching.
It's
Morphin' time! And we didn't even plan it that time.
Nope. And it sounded the best.
It just happened. That's probably when it happens the best.
Yeah.